Good morning, millennials, and welcome back to The Toast, and happy Friday, a Gargy-Pargy Friday, a Gargy-Pargy day of the week, any week. This week in particular, Jackson and Claudia are together in Florida. Da-na-na.
It's Taylor Day.
So that means a lot of things, right? It means that we're in conservation mode.
Oh, by the way, Rep TV didn't drop.
Well, she could announce it today. Yeah. No, it didn't make sense that everybody thought Rep was coming, but Friday night, music gets released Thursday at midnight.
But Taylor can release music whenever she wants.
Yeah, but she cares a lot about going number one and getting all the sales, you know?
That's true.
So today's episode is an audio-only extravaganza because Jackie and I are two women in our 30s going to the Eras Tour, and that means something, you know?
Well, we didn't want to do makeup twice today, and it's just been a crazy day around here, and in order to get the episode up in a timely manner, audio only it is.
Yeah, and I'm not mad because, like I said, this is the first time I've gone to the Eras Tour 3 times, but this is my first time going as a woman who's 30 years old. And not to put you, you're 31?
One. It's really nothing.
It's a lot. We really can't hang like we used to. I think the first time I went to the Eras Tour, I was 28.
No,
Nashville? That was May, so it was before my birthday. Yeah, it was literally, I was 28.
Oh, yeah, I guess that was a really long time ago. Imagine how Taylor feels when she started doing the Eras Tour.
She was 17.
32, and now she's going to be 35, and when she finishes, that's
she'll be 40.
Crazy.
No, I know. So I'm really excited, but I am nervous, about how it's going to take a toll on my body.
Yeah, I just made up those numbers, by the way, about 32 and 35. But Taylor's
Sounds right.
An easy person to age because we all know she was born in 1989. So
it's so true. So that would make her 35.
In December.
Okay, 34, yeah.
Crushed it.
That actually is so true. Kind of big mistake on her part, letting everyone know.
Letting everyone know.
I'm so excited. We are going to, honestly, it's a whole day affair because we have to make a little bit of a drive. And we haven't decided yet if we're going to go see Gracie Abrams.
We haven't decided. We haven't made our plan, gotten a snack, and packed an umbrella yet.
No, and
But we might need an umbrella.
We might need an umbrella. And when Jackie and I took a trip this summer to go to Luke Combs, on the way back home, we had nothing in the car to help us. It was such a long car ride. That one was 3 hours to the Hamptons, but we needed blankets, snacks, a microwave. We didn't have anything. And let me tell you, we're not making that mistake. We are seriously packing a trunk.
Stocking the car. I think I'm going to put my crock pot in there and maybe I could use the cigar outlet to light it up, and we could have a roast chicken when we come out of the concert.
I love that idea. I'm definitely bringing slippers, blankets, pajamas.
We could have a chili waiting for us.
We could have a chili. I'm so nervous about not having the things. We were freezing in the back of that car. Ben wouldn't let us turn the air conditioning off. We were wearing tiny little dresses. We didn't even have a blanket, nothing.
Yeah.
We will not make that mistake again.
We will be prepared.
We will be prepared.
Be prepared.
I flew in last night. You guys, Jackie made me such, it was a long day. We worked, we had a bunch of things, and then I went straight to the airport, got on a flight. And by the time I got to your house, I was ravenous, felt weak, needed iron. And there was such a meal waiting for me. Not only did she make me exactly what I requested, which was Jackie's chicken meatballs are amazing, and pasta. I didn't even talk to you about this offline. The shape of pasta you decided to go with, which is such a personal choice, honestly. It's 10 out of 10. No notes. What would you call that? Rigatoni?
That's rigatoni. I sent Zach to the store. I said, first get a box get top shelf pasta. He's like, I don't know what that is. I'm like, on the top shelf is what it means. That's where the nicer, higher priced items are on the top shelf. Yeah, that's why when it's top shelf liquor. The cheaper ones are on the bottom. So I was like, get top shelf pasta for turkey.
That's so funny.
And he was like, what shape? And I was like, any shape except penne.
Agreed. Even though I would have eaten it.
Penne and meatballs does not work.
Okay, penne and meatballs doesn't work. Neither does angel hair and meatballs. Angel hair is so weak.
Yeah. It doesn't have the strength.
It has no foundation. It's so true. That rigatoni was thick.
Spaghetti is so obvious.
I'm down. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to knock it.
It's an obvious one for a reason, though. It's the cliche for a reason. But it was just not what I didn't want to make you spaghetti and meatballs. How pedestrian.
It's so true. And then I feel like somebody who doesn't know a lot about cooking, Zach, just harmlessly, could have picked up shells. And that would have been
really. I said to him, he was like, I don't know what to get, because he called me from the store. I'm like, there's no wrong choice.
No, but I'm
telling you, get what you want, just not penne.
There is a wrong choice though. Elbows is not the vibe.
I also
shells.
like fusilli, spiral.
Okay, I like fusilli too, not with a meatball. Meatballs really kind of complicate things in terms of sound. Structural sound. It's
you need a load bearing pasta.
Exactly, a load bearing noodle. And so a rigatoni, even a bad rigatoni, is big. it's kind of, I feel like you can never go wrong with rigatoni.
I do agree with that.
And penne has just become pedestrian. I don't know if that's the right word. So accessible, you know, like kids are eating it, you know, it's not special.
No, it is not special.
It was so good. And then she also made me, you guys, chocolate chip cookies from scratch using sourdough discard. They were amazing.
Thank you so much.
And she vlogged the whole experience.
I did. I knew I was going to be like cooking for you all day and getting the house ready for you. And I just got, I'm sure you saw in my house, like this tripod for my kitchen so that I can cook more and film myself. Because I really, as I said, I enjoy vlogging.
You can't lie to the people. You don't have just like a tripod in your kitchen. You guys, she has a tripod on wheels that like seriously has a ring light and a thing for your phone. And it's like this, it looks like, you know, when people walk around the hospital.
Like with their IV bag.
Right. Like they need to go to the bathroom or something, but they can't leave their IV. So they take their big rolling IV bag with them on a stick. She walks around the house like with this big tripod on wheels. I've never seen a tripod on wheels before.
I take content creation seriously. I told you guys I like vlogging and I really want to invest in myself.
No, I love it. Like when you have company over, like where does it go? It's so big.
Wait, by the way, the boys, like when they see a tripod, they go crazy because like it's a fun stick to play with. And this one has confounded them. They broke my last one.
Classic.
Actually, it was on its last leg. Like one of the screws fell out, but it wasn't their fault. And it's not even about company. It's about like, how do I hide it from them? Usually I have drapes in my dining room. We just took them down because we're adding a valance. Just drape things, you know?
Okay.
When the drapes come back, I can hide the tripod behind the drapes.
That's a very Claudia thing to do. I love to like hide things.
Because I don't want to bring it to my garage and like bring them out every time I decide
and when
to
you create
film
content
myself.
as frequently as we do, like you can't just be putting things away.
Well, it's not even about the vlogging. Like I could also film more videos in my kitchen, like for my stories of my bread and like maybe make one cooking reel, maybe. I don't know about
Don't
that.
make any promises because it's really crazy.
Yeah.
But you guys have to sort of see this thing to understand it. Maybe we'll do like a
I'm putting it in the vlog. In the vlog, I talk about how I got new equipment and then I have like a vignette of it.
Is it from Amazon? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
So what happened was I asked Ben for the one that he used in the Hamptons that we used to clip onto the counter.
Yeah.
And we were always using it.
Get a good one.
However, my counters don't hang off. So I actually don't think I'd be able to clip it onto my island. And then you could upgrade that same tripod to the one with wheels. And I was like, I think it's got to be a wheelie.
It's seriously one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. But it works for you.
A content creator lives here.
And let me tell you, as a content creator myself, I can attest to the fact that like nothing is more personal than like choice of tripod.
Yeah.
Choice of mount. Like it's such a personal thing. So I'm glad that you found something that works for you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. How are the stories today?
Weird.
Yeah, it's like a Friday. There's weird vibes. Like maybe it's just because like I'm not in my usual routine and the weather here is like kind of gloomy. But do you feel like today's like a weird day?
Yeah, it's just like to be together starting on Friday. Usually like it's a Monday or something. But like to bring that Friday energy, it's incongruous with the facts.
It's totally incongruous.
And I feel like it feels like a weekend for us. So it's mostly like the fact that we're sitting here.
It's like, why are we working on a weekend?
Right.
Okay, well, the good news is like we're not far off from the weekend for everybody, no matter where you are. Like tomorrow is Saturday.
Even though it was the 4-day week.
Oh my God. Yeah, I was actually just reminiscing because I was choosing my Queenie and Weenie of the week. And I was like, what happened this week? Not Craig's episode being this week. That was an eternity ago.
Right.
Honorable mention. He's not my Queenie, but.
I feel like I hear someone rolling around my tripod.
Oh no. They're messing with mommy's things. Yeah, it also is loud.
So you know mom's coming down the hallway. Everyone clear out.
It's so
She's
true.
filming.
Oh my God, she's literally like next thing you know, she's gonna come down in a hospital gown. Like it's the craziest thing, you guys. I'll make sure to get some content of Jackie and the tripod this weekend.
I'm committed to my craft. That's all I'll say.
I think that's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
So I'm ready to dive in if you are. Like you said, the stories are weird, but like we are not.
We are not. And we do need to like cap off the week, right? There's a lot of loose ends to tie up.
It's true.
We have a lot to say. It wouldn't feel right if not that like we have a choice to do this episode or not.
Right. I mean, I guess like we technically have free will, but no, like we have to work.
No, like you have jobs. Yeah, you could not show up to work, but like, will you still have a job? No.
Why don't you fuck around and find out?
Right. As it says on my wall.
Yeah, Jackie very underratedly in her studio has a kind of gorgeous, would you say that's, a postmodern type of art?
Oh, I guess it is postmodern. Yes, it's a piece that says fuck around and find out. And just the story, if I may, and explain why it's in here. I ordered a lot of my furniture, including these buccal chairs that we sit on from Scout design studio, and they have really great art. And around the time I started saying fuck around and find out, they also had this piece. So they were like, we would love to gift it to you. Like, it's so you.
Oh, she really is an influencer. She's getting gifts, and she has a tripod on wheels.
Gifted art. However, it has a swear word in it. That's why it's in my studio and not just like on the ground in my house.
Not the swear word.
Not the swear word.
Well, in addition to, you know, you welcoming me into your home and giving me great food and a place to stay, you've also introduced me to the Fall Out Boy, Spider-Man, Disney Junior soundtrack.
Yeah.
So I guess Jackie's kids are obsessed with this like random show that I have seriously never heard of.
Spidey and his amazing friends.
And it's like the books and they have everything. And I guess in conjunction with the TV version, Fall Out Boy came out with like a whole album.
A soundtrack, yeah.
Let me tell you, that shit's really good, you guys. To your friendly neighborhood spider. Like that shit pops all the way off.
Teamwork can't be tighter.
I love
Come on.
when like famous people dabble in children's things, like, and they take it seriously, and they bring their art and their talent to the kids' space. I think that's actually like a really generous use of their time.
Yeah, the way I like to imagine it is that like Fall Out Boy Pete
his
has kids, and
yeah.
they maybe watched Spider-Man and he was feeling inspired, like, hey, I could write like a great theme song to this show. And I would love to think that like that's how art happens.
I think like in a more realistic sense, the way how I perceive like these sort of artistic collaborations to happen is that kids gigs like just pay really well. And that's how they get like Tyler the Creator to do that whole Grinch thing, right?
Yes. Okay. But that's like different because the Disney Junior show is not like Grinch Illumination.
Yeah, they don't have that kind of budget. It's true.
And I also feel like when a show does want to do a soundtrack and it's like a small show, they probably get like fake Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. That's what I thought I was listening to at first because it doesn't say Fall Out Boy on the song. And I was like, oh, they like got like fake Panic at the Disco, whatever. And like it's working for me. And then a mom I was talking to was like, Fall Out Boy did the whole album. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
It's really good.
Yeah, it is.
For
really
like adults
good.
And kids alike.
And for like things you have to listen to on repeat, it could be so much worse.
So true.
So thank you, Fall Out Boy.
Thank you, Fall Out Boy. And thank you for introducing me to that. Like I'm actually enjoying it.
And I know Ben is like probably listening to it alone in his car.
Yeah, like adding it to his emo night playlist. Okay, well now,
without further ado, here are the Fast 5 stories that you need to know.
And the Fast 5 stories that you need to know are brought to you by Amazon Live. So for those of you who have been living under a rock, Amazon Live is a shoppable video experience from Amazon, where you can learn about the hottest products from your favorite influencers and creators like myself, and you can shop while you're watching. So you'll find beauty must-haves, get ready with me demos, live try-ons, all the latest trends from the Gargy-Pargy Swirlies who work over at Amazon Live. I will say Amazon Live talent department, like they know what internet users want. So they're getting, you know, like the Paige DeSorbos, the Turdy Oshrays, the Lala Kents, the Kyle Richards. They're getting all the girlies to come on and talk beauty, talk fashion, to gossip. It's so much fun to host an Amazon Live, and it's so much fun to watch one too. So you also get to participate. So if you're watching one live, you can like ask questions in the chat and have fun with whoever is streaming, and like they'll most likely see your questions and like answer it. And sometimes it gets like really gossipy, like if you ask like a salacious question. There's plenty of tea with reality stars like Kyle Richards, Lala Kent, Paige DeSorbo. She actually has a new show on Amazon Live. It's called In Bed with Paige DeSorbo. She's having guests come over and get in bed with her, cooking snacks, being cozy. Ben and I have done a ton of Amazon Lives, as well as Margot and I. Ben and I made fried chicken sandwiches with mac and cheese. It was really premium and really fun. Very Rachel Ray moment for us, if you will. So you can elevate your viewing and your shopping experience with Amazon Live. Lala Kent's new series is called Mama's Still Got It. Check that out. Also, they have TikTokers like Josh Richards and Gabby Moore. Really, whatever your internet interests are, you'll find something at Amazon Live. So stream and shop my channel on Amazon Live by going to amazon.com/live/girlwithnojob, or you can watch and enjoy the best of Amazon Live on their new live TV channel on Freevee or Prime Video under the DIY section, and shop along on your phone. Today's episode is also brought to you by KiwiCo. KiwiCo is launching KiwiCo Clubs to engage kids on a journey to seriously fun learning. So KiwiCo is like a long-time sponsor of the Toast, and I feel like very much aligns with Jackie's parenting style of like trying to keep the kids engaged, having fun while also being educational, staying off screens as much as we can. And KiwiCo and their crates is such a great option for that. And with KiwiCo Clubs, kids are going to learn the fundamentals through hands-on projects and progressively build their skills with each new project that they work on. So you can watch your kids go from learning to build bow and arrows to engineering their own robot. They have 5 clubs to choose from. They cover science, technology, engineering, art, and math. They also, if you're a Kiwi Club member, you get amazing perks like 10% off your orders, free shipping in the US, and early access to new rates. I feel like KiwiCo is one of those things that once you like have purchase your first crate, you really don't want to purchase other things. So becoming a member is really fabulous. It can obviously be hard to find creative ways to keep your kids engaged, challenged, and off their screen, but KiwiCo does the legwork for you. So you can spend time tackling projects together. There's no commitment with KiwiCo, so you can pause or cancel at any time. And your kids can discover that they have what it takes to build and to innovate. So over time, they'll be learning with robotics, engineering, art techniques, and more. So tinker, create, and innovate with KiwiCo. Get up to 50% off your first crate at kiwico.com. The promo code that we have is TOAST. That's KIWICO.com. The promo code is TOAST. Today's episode is also brought to you by Primal Kitchen. Let's talk about real food for a hot minute. We know that we should all be eating like more real, nutritious food, less processed, but really who has the time to make things from scratch, especially like when you think about like all the things you can make from scratch, like your condiments, your sauces, your salad dressings. Definitely not us. Nobody has time for that. And like committing to reading every single ingredient on every single label at the grocery store just to avoid sketchy ingredients is also like a huge time commitment. And that's why we love Primal Kitchen. Their condiments are the secret weapon for making real food that tastes amazing. So any sauce that you could think of, whether it's a dressing, a dipping sauce, think of like buffalo sauce, ranch dressing, they really make everything and they do it really consciously. So their products pair perfectly with any meal that you want to have. If you're a big, I live in a house that's like so dressing sauce friendly. Like Ben doesn't have a meal without it. It can be hard to find ones that are made with really good ingredients. So if you want to be real about food, but you also want to make your food a little bit more exciting, you need Primal Kitchen's condiments and sauces. They've nailed the perfect combination of high quality ingredients and delicious flavor, so your meals will taste as real and homemade as it gets. If you go over to primalkitchen.com/thetoast, you'll save 20% off your next online order with code TOAST at checkout, but only at Primal Kitchen, PRIMAL kitchen.com/thetoast. Our code is TOAST. Primal Kitchen products are also available in stores nationwide, so visit primalkitchen.com/thetoast and you can find a location nearest you. There's really no reason like not to switch all your condiments and sauces and dressing over to Primal Kitchen. They're a fabulous brand.
Thank you, /the Turt.
You're welcome, /the Jurt.
Our first story is a bit of an update from yesterday's story because tributes are pouring in for Liam Payne, especially from his One Direction cast members.
Yeah.
So all of the members of One Direction have put out a statement, including then the One Direction official page.
Yeah.
But Harry and the boys each wrote their own individual thing for Liam, just talking about the tragedy and how they'll be there for his kids and just honoring his life.
I feel like the most interesting one was Zayn's because like when you have a really complicated relationship with someone and like a history of like not getting along, but you spent so much time together and you really grew up together, and then they pass away, like those are complicated feelings. And so I actually thought his was really well written. Like everybody's was really sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, what is there to say? It's so sad.
Yeah.
But his, like there's a lot of history there. And I thought like he actually wrote something really lovely.
Especially when everybody's looking to you like, oh, what are you going to say? Because of course, like we were just talking last week about the up against the wall thing.
Exactly.
So you know that there's had been issues in the past, but all of that is washed away when something like this happens. And then also other news is coming out about like Liam's final weeks.
Yeah.
It was reported that Universal Music, which was his record label, dropped him just days before his death.
Yeah. A lot of the things that I've seen, like I feel like would lead one to think that like perhaps he did take his own life, because I'm now seeing a ton of podcast clips that he's done in like years, and no one, when you stitch them together, they look like something. But if you just were following at the time, he just talked about like his struggles with like suicidal ideation at times, and like how, you know, his worst nightmare is being left alone in a hotel room. He had actually said that on a podcast, which was kind of creepy. And then this, like, you know, getting bad news because, you know, like his solo career was like kind of in this weird place. It does lead you to think that maybe it wasn't an accident, but we don't know for sure. I don't know if we will ever know for sure.
Yeah.
And apparently like the CCTV, like cameras and the security cameras in the lobby, like weren't working for the hours that he was, but I don't know if that's supposed to be like, make us think it's like shady. I just feel like this hotel was like not equipped for a mega star to show up at, you know?
Yeah. I mean, maybe his close family though would like know,
if he was
also
struggling.
There are like ways to, you know the trajectory of the fall and like velocity and stuff like that. So maybe his family will get that information, but that doesn't mean that they'll share it like with the public. So we might not ever know. And also in addition to like this bad news of the record label being dropped, there was like his ex, not to say anything like, you know, she's entitled to tell her story.
Are you talking about Maya?
Yeah, that there was just like a lot of like really bad stuff about him.
Yeah, like
being said.
Pretty significant allegations from her.
Yeah.
And she has been I haven't seen her say anything yet. She had been talking a lot. Like I think she was writing this book that was like a fiction book, but she made it abundantly clear that like it was about her relationship and the time that she spent with him. And she had been doing like podcasts, like promoting it. And it's been total radio silence since then. I don't know like how or what she could even say. But yeah, that's where it gets complicated, right? Like two things can be true. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's really sad. And I spent so much time on social media yesterday because I was traveling and like literally what else is there? Like I had my Kindle, but God forbid I even opened it up.
Because it didn't have buttons.
And I just want to say like I knew that the One Direction like fanhood was big and powerful and like all encompassing, but it has been 10 years, right?
Yeah, I feel like they were kind of laying dormant. There wasn't anything for them to
engage with.
On.
No, they are very, very much alive and they're really not doing well. Like this is absolutely devastating. Like I was really shocked to see like how many, and it's people like me. Like I grew up, I was such a One Direction fan, but like these are all now like grown people really struggling with this news.
Yeah.
And I think for like Liam at the height of the band, like I feel like everybody had their favorites and there was some that were like Harry was a lot of people's favorites, but Liam was up there. Like
I would say,
yeah, I would say he was probably like people's second or third favorite between him, Harry, and Zayn.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see that.
I also thought it was really interesting how everybody in their statements, the boys from the band regarded him as like this, even though he was the youngest, I didn't realize that at the time. They were all around like 18 or 19, but he was 16. He was the most experienced when it came to music. And also I think he was like the most confident. He kind of took on like oddly like a mentorship role, even though he was younger than everyone else. And they all remarked on that in their statements. And I like never would have known that or even guessed that he was. But then when you go back and watch all their like original auditions, which is now content that is taking over my For You page.
I saw them torn.
Like, let me tell you, like those boys literally couldn't sing if their life depended on it. Like Harry Styles singing Drops of Jupiter, like it was in one of the rounds, like before they were made a band, like an actual piece of shit.
I was listening to them sing Torn.
That's their first, they put them together as a band, threw them in a room, and this was their first performance, Torn. It's not bad. But before that,
like I was like waiting. I was like, this is gonna be like Fifth Harmony singing. Right. Anything can happen. And I was just like waiting to be moved. And I was like, oh no, they really grew together and they all actually really matured vocally.
It's amazing that they all made it past the first audition, let alone to like the fourth or fifth to get put together as a band. But if you ever like truly want to giggle, like go watch everybody's Louis Tomlinson. Like these are 5 people who actually like have no singing abilities. It's unbelievable.
And I guess that's where Simon Cowell deserves his credit.
No, actually, I don't know if you've seen this before. Liam Payne, I'm telling you, Nicole Scherzinger is like having a moment. I told you about her thing on Broadway, but apparently like the X Factor UK archive like finally released a bunch of footage of the actual put together, like the moment that the boys were put together in a band. And it was 1000% all Nicole Scherzinger. She literally, you see her playing with the pictures of all the people who maybe get sent home, maybe go to the next round. She literally takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and she's like, they would be a cute band. The girls would love them. Like it was literally all her idea. And it's so funny how Simon Cowell gets the credit, like marketing mastermind, like your natural inclination just now was to be like, and that's everyone's, to be like, oh, well, Simon Cowell really saw in them what others couldn't say. No, it was literally Nicole Scherzinger.
Oh, wow.
And Niall Horan was just asked about that in a interview because he was the first one that she pulled. She built the band around him. And they were like, Niall, they were like, did you know that? Like this footage just came out. He was like, I had no idea. I was shocked. He was like, when I was a kid, like I never thought, I think he thought he was like always just happy to be there and definitely not like the number one guy. No, thank you to whoever thought to like pull that footage out of the archive. Because seriously, like that's stuff we needed to know.
And so it was never before seen?
Never before seen.
Who's working in the X Factor archive? Is that show still even on the air?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Okay. So they like have an archival team.
And you know what the weird thing about Liam Payne's time on X Factor is that he ended up dating and having a baby with Cheryl, who was a judge on his season when he was 16.
She was a judge on his season? Mm-hmm. I knew that they were together for a while. It was kind of like
an X Factor royal.
I didn't realize, I didn't like put together this week that that's who is the mother of his child.
I also thought it was interesting, like celebrity tributes for Liam beyond the boys, like who he had professional and personal relationships with, like Charlie Puth, Rita Ora. Like I never would have guessed these people, but I guess they had worked together in some capacity.
Rita Ora song is like everyone knows.
I don't know that one.
I think it was.
I heard it on TikTok today. It was the first time I heard it.
Really? We were just talking about it.
No, we're talking about Strip That Down For Me.
You were talking about it. That song. Because I don't even really know that song, but.
I didn't know the Rita Ora, Liam Payne collab.
It is.
Something Me. Collect Me. Something like that.
Maybe not.
No, but they have a song, but I hadn't heard of it.
Yeah, but it's not like his top 5 on Spotify. So.
I feel like it was like popular in the UK.
For you.
I feel like it was popular in the UK. They're like, she's like oddly like really famous in the UK.
It's not odd. She's a talent.
It's not odd. But when we think of like her place in culture here, it's very different than her place in culture.
There's a place for her.
I actually don't know if there is.
I think there's a place for her.
There's a place for us. Like maybe there is, yeah.
Well, very tragic, like just very sad news.
Yeah.
And every detail that comes in is just sadder.
I know, like about his
record label thing. It's just like sad.
No, it makes you think like, did that cause him to spiral?
Right.
Yeah, that is really sad.
Switching gears, if I may, to our next story, which is actually going to elicit some strong feelings from you, knowing your history.
Oh, who has a DUI? Wait, I saw it this morning. Wait, I forget. Oh, Jay Cutler.
Yeah. Jay Cutler was arrested for DUI and gun possession in Tennessee. He has a Glock.
I have a Glock and I've had it for quite some time.
Jay Cutler was arrested on DUI charges on Thursday night. Not only was he taken into custody for driving under the influence, but he was also hit with 3 other charges, TMZ reported. He was busted for gun possession, failure to exercise due care, and violation of implied consent law.
Well, not cool of him to not exercise care for due. Like that's disrespectful.
Do.
That's very disrespectful.
I love that that's a crime. Like, you didn't exercise due care.
I completely agree. Like, get yourself together.
Care more.
I obviously have strong feelings about DUIs. I think it's like the most disgusting, heinous, irresponsible thing you can do. And like, I am a hater for life most of the time if you have one. The thing with Jay Cutler is he is so someone like I don't give a shit about. Like, if I wanted to stop engaging with his content, I didn't even engage ever. Like, I don't know how to stop existing. Like my relationship,
your life doesn't have to change.
Like
nothing about your behaviors has to change.
Now, someone who like has 3 kids and like having this type of behavior, like obviously I feel sad for. Like that's tough.
Yeah.
But again, like this is just so not my level of care. Like I don't care. You know, so I'm expressing no due care.
Are you going to be charged with
lack of due care?
Lack of due care. I do care.
I know you do.
I like Jay Cutler. I don't like subscribe to his
channel
things that he does, but anytime he pops up doing an interview or even like I'm Very Cavalier, anytime I encounter him, like I like him.
Yeah. That's why, because you watched Very Cavalier. I didn't.
I did. And then like, I loved his interview with Sophia with an F.
Can I ask you a question?
You guys, if you haven't watched Jay Cutler on Sophia with an F.
You should.
Ship.
Can I ask you a question? I'm just now putting together. What did you think of Shannon when you were watching Very Cavalier?
So it's hard because I don't remember. She was like the villain, but you could tell that she was like being the villain, and she was impossible to root for. Like she wasn't doing her job. And Kristen kept giving her chances, and like they didn't establish why Kristen would keep giving this person chances. Like, is she even good at her job?
Right.
We don't know.
Right.
But there were also like the girls who were supposed to be like the good girls, like Brittany. She had an extra I in her name.
Brittany.
She like wasn't doing it for me either.
Got it. So you like couldn't pick a side.
I couldn't. There were a couple like girls. I guess mostly like I liked Kristen and Jay because I thought that like the drama in the store, the girls who we were like supposed to like, who were like funny and cute and sweet, like they weren't doing it for me. And then like the villain was villaining.
Right. She was playing a part very much.
Yeah.
Interesting. I never put that together like at the time.
I know. I always think about that too. I think Shannon probably asked me that once.
She's
and I like
such a different like it's crazy. Like that's not her.
And when Shannon talks about the show, she was like, no, like they said jump and they said how high, like what can I do for the show? How can I be the villain?
Really?
Like how can we make the show pop off? Like I'm here, I'm on television, I'm excited, and I'll do what it takes.
Good for a team player.
So like that. So I feel like that makes sense that was my reaction, which is like this person's not doing likable things, but she wasn't trying to be liked. She was just like trying to
do good
entertainment.
Exactly. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Well, back to Jay Cutler, like seriously do better. There's really not much to say when somebody acts so poorly and makes such bad decisions.
Yeah.
And thank God nobody got hurt with his Glock or with his driving.
Yeah. And the possession was illegal?
Of the gun?
Yeah, like, because why was he charged with that?
Well, I believe in Tennessee, like you can have a gun, but you can't just like be throwing it around. You know, I think it has to be like in a holster. Maybe they pulled him over and they found it like loose in the front seat, not like in his Glock compartment.
Okay.
Like there are laws even when it's like a state that has like a gun.
Yeah,
they're cool with guns.
Concealed carry.
Yeah, like you can't just be like whipping it out.
Yeah,
twirling it around your index finger.
But you're implying that he was twirling it.
I think that's what we're led to believe.
And you're saying he was swirling it?
Because when you get a DUI, like they take you out of your car and then everything in your car is like fair game, right?
Like
so they find drugs. Yeah. And so maybe like his legal firearm was being transported in an illegal way. Or maybe like some people, you know, he might have homes in different states and like it's licensed in one state, not in another. I don't know. I don't have a Glock, so I don't know the rules and I'm just kind of guessing here.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of like a vague
charge.
And then also
like they just threw the book at him.
Like the do care, please elaborate further. And then the failure to consent to implied law. The fuck does that mean too? Maybe he like didn't want to do a breathalyze.
That's what I feel like. He didn't want to like do the line test or a breathalyzer, but I saw on TikTok once, and so keep this in mind. It's just TikTok. Like free legal advice, you don't have to take a breathalyzer test.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's true. So if you would get pulled over, maybe just breathe.
But I think that like bodes poorly for you. Like it in the larger case, it's
right,
like
it
they
help.
refused.
Yeah, right. But I guess it bodes less poorly than a .09.
Yeah.
So, because you could just theorize about the person who didn't take the breathalyzer as opposed to somebody with real results.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a legal podcast. Get your free legal advice from Turdy and Barnes.
Turdy and Barnes.
Who is your version of Celino and Barnes? Like, is there a commercial down here that like plays?
I don't watch enough live television to say.
Right, no screen time. Yeah.
But you could always see them on the highway.
Right. They get you everywhere.
Yeah. Your wife is
multimedia.
hot.
Your wife is hot.
Your wife is hot.
I like that one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Jay Cutler, do better.
Like, actually, like you're a grown ass man, unacceptable, and you're wealthy. Like, get a car and driver.
I can't see Jay Cutler being chauffeured around. He seems like the type who wants to take the wheel.
I can see Jay Cutler calling an Uber. Like, I really
You
can.
could?
Yeah.
I actually, I couldn't.
Well, that's where we're different.
Like, I feel like he wants to be in control.
Well, then don't drink. Like, you can't have it all.
I'm not saying like he should. I'm just saying some people aren't meant to be driven around.
And some people are. And I just want to say, I am meant to be driven around.
I feel like you guys can't see me behind the wheel.
Yep. I just can't stress enough how much I love to be chauffeured around, whether it's by my husband, by a stranger, as an Uber driver. Like, I love to be chauffeured.
Mm-hmm. Me as well.
That's like if I won the lottery, like one of my first hires would be a personal chauffeur.
Yeah.
Like round the clock, anytime I need anything.
Yeah.
Call the chauffeur. Chives.
Fire up the car.
Like kind of how Big in Sex and the City always has Ray. Like that's what I want.
Yeah. Well, are you ready for our next story? Someone who's attempting to do better, it seems, after so many times of not doing better. Wallen is announcing his own festival created with AEG Presents and Stagecoach producer Stacy V. So after headlining Stagecoach in May, country superstar Morgan Wallen will spend a weekend in May 2025 headlining his own newly created music festival dubbed Sand in My Boots, named after one of his most popular songs. The festival will take place May 16th through 18th on the shores of Gulf Shores, Alabama. It was announced on Thursday.
Let me tell you, Ben went to the Gulf Shores of Alabama like for spritz maybe like a year ago, and has not stopped talking about it since. He says it's like seriously the most underrated, beautiful place on the planet.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of close to you.
Yeah, that's great.
I was like, I first roll my eyes at this because like it's giving Astro World. Like I hate when people get into like festival planning when it's not your job. Like it's obviously hard to do, but having the Stagecoach and the AG is like a Live Nation type of company. I feel like, you know, maybe they'll be able to pull it off. Even though Live Nation was involved in Astro World, whatever. I actually think this is a good idea. When you can sell that many tickets just yourself.
Yeah.
Why not make it a full affair and make it more of a business? Because then I'll have a whole lineup of people probably who will participate, like pretty big names.
Yeah.
And then you get like the liquor sponsors and everybody buys tickets and they can't, like it's a whole thing. And there aren't like enough country festivals, in my opinion, like mainstream ones.
I agree. I think it's a good idea. I think for something like Stagecoach, people literally buy their Stagecoach ticket because
a year in advance.
Morgan Wallen is headlining. So why not capture all of that for Morgan's self?
And then you think about how like he came to New York, he did 2 nights at
MSG.
No, MetLife. Mm-hmm. So it's like 150,000 people, right. I think. And that's just for a 2-hour concert, right? Yeah. Like imagine, it's actually a really smart business decision, but there are only so many people who could do it.
Yeah, it's the stadium swirly. So
it's literally like him and Taylor, I don't think Ed Sheeran sells a lot of tickets, but I don't think they sell out years in advance. Like,
yeah, Luke too, but Luke just did something I think kind of similar to this actually. Bootleggers, Fireside bootleggers in the sand.
Yeah, bootleggers taking the boots by storm.
Sand in my bootleggers.
Wait, also, Luke was actually asked about his upcoming concert for the hurricane relief and if he's going to sing Hurricane. And he said, like, you know, I thought about it and ultimately I decided no.
That's our king right there.
Like king of sensitivity.
Even though if he said, I thought about it and I ultimately decided yes, I would have also responded, that's my king right there.
Of course, I respect, I respect his decisions.
I respect his decisions, as you should when you truly love someone inside and out. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys.
1000%. She's
Trust
so
your
loyal.
faves.
Trust
or
your
else
faves.
They shouldn't be your faves.
Yeah. So we won't be having like a Demi Lovato heart attack at the American Heart Association type of moment, which is for the best.
No, it makes me like sad that we won't have that type of moment. However, I wouldn't want that type of moment like on Luke. Like I would rather clown on someone else, not my fave.
We're protective of his record. Like we don't want that anywhere on his.
But like for Demi, it is so congruous with her.
With who she is. Like so all over the place. Never thinking.
Like not just reading the room.
Yep.
Like doing acts of service without like thinking in them through.
If I ever did that, I think I'd have a heart attack.
I love it. And it's also like iconic as his it's just like amazing across the board.
I agree. It's like it really goes down in history as like a cornerstone moment of pop culture.
It's also very Katy Perry. Like Katy Perry could do that. I would love it from her. I would hate it and I would love it so much. And
I could see Katy up there.
Right?
Yeah.
Like she could, I don't even know what song. I don't even want to think about what she could do.
Well, Luke is not, well, yeah, like, you know, somebody died in a fire and she's singing Firework. Right. Luke will not be doing that. So,
because that's my king right there.
Because that's our king right there.
Yeah. So congrats, Morgan Wallen.
That's cool. Like, please.
More of this
in a very safe way. Please learn from all the things that happened before you.
Learn from Fire Festival. Learn from Astroworld.
Like, take security measures. Like, do all the things. Don't cut corners.
Yeah.
For a pretty penny. Well, then that's just exciting because there's another country festival and Morgan Wallen's the headliner. So
right.
That's cool.
Have fun. Get some sand in your boots.
I don't love the name. I wanted to say that.
Do you think it should have been Morgfest?
No, I feel like, okay, he's going to name it after one of his songs. He has so many songs that are like country to a T. Let's see. Like, I don't know, Sand in My Boots.
It doesn't sound like a festival. I guess,
wait, it's on the beach.
Yeah. No, that's cute. We're like the Last Night Festival. That's kind of cute.
It's fine. The Dangerous Festival. Well, no, hopefully not. Hopefully it's not.
Hopefully not.
The Hometown Festival.
That's cute, but it would have to be in his hometown.
Well, it's someone's hometown.
Yeah, I like Morgfest, but
I like I like Wally Fest.
Wally.
Yeah, I think Wally Fest is best.
You know what's funny about the movie Wally?
I don't know what's funny about the movie Wally. I've never seen it.
It's that like it's so
a silent film,
forgotten. Like
it's forgettable. Yeah.
I was watching a compilation of best animated movies to win the Oscars for like the last 20 years and Wally won, and there were a lot of forgettable ones in there, but I just felt like people thought Wally was a cultural shift, and now looking back it's like, what did Wally change?
I don't think Wally was a cultural shift. I think Wally was a cultural shift, you know. Anna.
Yeah I'm just saying, I don't think Wally did as much as he thinks he did.
Yeah, and Wally, like, let's be completely real, Wally was just like kind of an E.T. knockoff, right? Wally, E.T. like.
Yeah, no, he was like a robot that was the only like survivor of.
I actually didn't see it, but wasn't it a silent film? Like Wally
because
didn't
there
talk?
Was nobody there. Like there was soundtrack and stuff, but like there was no other people other
and
than
they wonder
Wally.
why like no kids wanted to see it. Please,
right. Are you ready for our next story?
If it's our next story, that's brought to you by Huggies Perchance.
It is brought to you by Huggies Perchance because we love the Huggies Little Movers, and the Toast loves them, and our house loves them, and parents everywhere just love Huggies Little Movers because Huggies knows that babies come in all shapes and sizes, and their tushies do too. Huggies has more curves and an outstanding fit, and moms know that there's nothing worse than an ill-fitting diaper when it comes to keeping your bebe diapered, and especially when you have an active bebe. Mm-hmm. I love Huggies because I can rely on them to keep my baby covered while they're moving around. So while they're sleeping, rolling around, crawling, jumping, whatever it is.
Your kids are like, constantly doing
something, and you just like want that diaper staying in place.
Of course. Leak proof.
That too. So Huggies Little Movers are curved to fit all curves, so my bebes feel comfy no matter how much they're moving around, and they're moving around a lot. They also offer 12-hour protection against leaks, which is a game changer. Yeah, sleeping, long car rides, like you don't want to be worrying about.
So true.
Leaks. Trips to the Cape.
Clam bakes.
Who wants a leak at the clam
When
bake?
Harry's at a clam bake, like can't be stopped. You can't be like stopping for leaks.
Hells no. So get your baby's butt into the best fitting diaper. Huggies, Little Movers, we got you, baby. Also, an added bonus is that they're so cute. They have so many good like collabs with characters.
Cute designs.
That the children love. So it makes diapering fun for them, good for you, leak proof, fit in the curves, Gargy Pargy diapering.
Gargy Pargy diapering is a part of Gargy Pargy Fall.
GPD.
Today's episode is also brought to you by Thrive Market. So take the stress out of grocery shopping for you and your family with Thrive Market's commitment to quality. If you have shopped at Thrive Market, like you probably haven't been back to your local grocery store in ages, they are, first of all, it's online grocery ordering, which is everything. Like getting it delivered to your front door is so fabulous. But if you're really conscious about the types of things you bring into your home and you want to bring harmful ingredients into your like cleaning supplies, food, snacks for your kids, check out Thrive Market. So they use trusted ingredients. So certified organic is always their first choice. Thrive Market studies every label to search for the best, most wholesome ingredients that have been vetted for safety. That way you don't have to spend hours reading your kids' snack labels. They even restrict over 1,000 ingredients that are found at conventional grocery stores, so you can shop for your family with peace of mind. They're also on a mission. So their mission is to make healthy and sustainable living easy and affordable for everyone. So they seek out brands and products that follow ethical practices, including fair pay, treatment for workers, strict quality standards, and safe working conditions. Your membership even sponsors a membership for a family in need. It's also a great place to discover new brands that like might not be at your regular grocery store you haven't messed with yet. So good. I feel like Jackie's always finding you're really good at finding like good snacks that are healthy, good ingredients, but like actually really tasty and addictive. So congrats, like you're really good at that.
Oh my God, thanks, Claudia. You're so nice.
If you want to shop at a grocery store that actually cares for your health, go to thrivemarket.com/thetoast for 30% off your first order, plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/thetoast, thrivemarket.com/thetoast. Today's episode is brought to you by Jenni Kayne. So Jenni Kayne clothing, Jenni Kayne home, Jenni Kayne everything. It's just this brand. It's a California inspired brand. And like once you start shopping there, every time you need something that they sell, you will go. It is so chic. It is so effortless. And with fall being in the air, we're reviving our wardrobes to ensure that we're set for the season. That's why we're so thrilled to hear from one of our sponsors, Jenni Kayne. As the experts in classic elevated wardrobe essentials, especially iconic and luxe sweaters, Jenni Kayne is a California brand through and through, and their staples make getting dressed effortless. My best sweaters come from Jenni Kayne. Everybody wanted to know when I was toasting with Ben, it's called like a fisherman gray sweater. It was from Jenni Kayne. This week I wore a quarter zip white from Jenni Kayne. The best, and I bought them years ago. Like they wear so well. They're so well made. They're fabulous. And they're really chic. Their sweaters are quintessential must-have items for fall. If you're stocking up on knits and fall-ready basics this season, do so with Jenni Kayne. Their cashmere cocoon cardigan is sickening. And I just feel like fall vibes are Jenni Kayne vibes. So with their cashmere half zip, that's what I wore earlier in the week. It's so cozy. If you're like layering, it's really chic too. Plus they have an incredible rewards program where you can earn up to 10% back with every purchase, and joining is completely free. So find your new uniform at jennikayne.com. Our listeners are going to get 15% off their first order when you use code TOAST15 at checkout. That's 15% off your first order at JENNIKAYNE.com. Our promo code is TOAST15, TOAST15. Like getting dressed, be one less thing to worry about. Embrace your fall aesthetic with Jenni Kayne.
Thank you. I'm going to embrace my turd aesthetic.
Okay. That's fine with me because I think that's a beautiful aesthetic, but I'm obviously biased.
Our next story, some Tell Me Lies news.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies.
Also, I was thinking last night that I don't love the name of the show.
Let's talk about that.
Right?
I don't dislike it because it's accurate. Like everybody in the show just fucking lies.
I know, but
no, actually, I'm going to disagree with you. I think it's a fine name.
It's not strong enough.
I do wish they utilized.
It should be called Sex Lives of College Girls. No,
Literally.
Something just more concrete.
I do wish that they utilized the iconic song, Tell Me Lies, Tell Me Sweet Little Lies. That's whenever we all hear that word, that phrase, we think of that song.
I like when the title is a noun, not a verb.
She likes when the title is a noun. Okay. So what do you think is the perfectly named show?
Desperate Housewives, noun.
Yeah.
The
Girls.
Girls. Game of Thrones.
I
this
understand.
is a verb.
It's an action item. I agree.
Anyways, but the Tell Me Lies boss is addressing the dramatic finale and a bit of a spoiler for season 3, which is that a cast member is not going to be on season 3. Not because they're not coming back, but because they're no longer part of the story.
Leo.
Oliver.
Oh. That's
Oliver.
shocking.
Yep.
Although I think it makes sense. This was just a weird time in Bree's life.
Yeah, but that would mean that if he is the person on the phone,
he
either stays on the phone, in a
like a metaphysical sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or he's not the person on the phone.
Yeah, no, I think that the eagle-eyed viewers thought that if Oliver was on the phone, that was like far too obvious. Like the show was more creative than that.
Right. So when asked if he would be back in the future, Megan Oppenheimer, who's the showrunner, said, "I don't think so. I think Tom was just wanting to do one season." That's Oliver's actor name. Oh. He said, "I think that we wrapped up his story in a way that really worked for me. I don't know where else we would go after that with him."
It's true.
She said, "I think we could bring Marianne back, maybe. There's a lot more story to tell with her. But I think we kind of learned that Oliver is so broken and hollow by the end of the season that I'm ready for Bree to be done with him."
Yeah, and he's not like in love with Bree. He's not going to chase Bree. This was like a fun little game for him for one semester. There's nothing more.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm glad to know that like Bree is not going to spend next semester
pining.
Not that she would. I think she was so
mad,
thoroughly turned off by the whole situation. But it also poises her to go back to Evan, where it's like, oh, all of a sudden, like Evan looks like an amazing guy.
Yeah, like stability is attractive to her again.
Right.
So
someone who only wants her.
This is, I feel like, isn't a spoiler, honestly. Like,
if you didn't watch this season, then I guess it's a spoiler.
Yeah. But I feel like it's not.
Yeah.
Tell me lies. Wait, I also just found something out that I didn't know, because a lot of people were obsessed with the song that played at the very end of the season finale, which was a song from the Killers, but it was like a girl singing
Mr. Brightside Cutler.
In a very like, sultry way. And that actually is Bree singing. And I can't believe I didn't even notice it, because it literally sounds just like her talking voice.
Yeah, I listened to it on Spotify. And then it's not something like that I would listen to
more than once.
But it was really good in the show.
And I love when people like are a part of a show and they get involved in like different departments, Maybe
like next season she'll join like the theater troupe with her musical abilities.
Like the a cappella group.
Yeah. They need hobbies, by the way. None of these people participate in campus
extracurriculars.
Culture.
It's so true. Maybe that's why they're so toxic.
Except for Wrigley.
Not even anymore.
Right.
So true.
Like they don't get involved on campus. They're not gonna have like good extracurriculars for law school or anything else they want to do.
Bree needs to join the a cappella group.
Yeah. A little something, a little intramural league.
One night in college I went to, like, there was a couple a cappella groups within NYU, obviously, like theater
and, like, are they gonna join a sorority?
Yeah, because we're supposed to like think they're cool, right?
Yeah, and
but no, it's the end of sophomore.
It's the middle of sophomore year. Even a school that has late rushing, like Colgate did, we didn't rush till sophomore year, which is really late. They would have been rushing already.
Right, they're definitely not.
So they've decided not to. And then why?
They're like this insular group of freaks.
What was also a plot hole was that I always assumed Wrigley and Steven lived in a frat house. Mm-hmm. Because they're seniors. Well, they share a big room.
Yeah, the rooms are confusing. Everybody's room is different, and like, Evan lives off property, right?
Right. He has an apartment downtown because he's wealthy.
Yeah.
But Wrigley and Steven like live on campus as seniors in a dorm.
Yeah.
That was weird. When the everything happened with Drew. I was like, wait, that's the outside of their building?
That's a good point. Yeah.
I thought they lived in like the same house as Leo, and she was just like going from upstairs to downstairs.
Right. Where did Leo live?
I thought Leo lived in the house, but now in thinking about his room, it must be a dorm room.
I never thought it was a fraternity.
I thought it was a fraternity house because like usually like juniors and some seniors live in the frat house.
No, and they had bathrooms like in their rooms, which is not a dorm thing.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's kind of a plot hole, like the lack of Greek life.
But they are in some sort of fraternity because they have parties in a house.
Oh, yeah.
And it's always the same house. And like Leo, Steven,
and all
Wrigley,
those boys
and
couldn't be going if they weren't in the fraternity.
Right. But like, how did Chris, a freshman boy, get into that party?
No, that's a really good point.
So that's, unless
if you know the rules of like parties in Greek life in college, which I don't really, then this show has a plot hole.
And the only reason why I'm harping on it is because Corolla did not miss a detail in anything regarding like liberal arts school, unless there's no Greek life.
Right, it's so accurate.
Unless there's no Greek life and they're just like, I don't know, partying in the student center.
Well, that sounds fun.
But then why are they always in the one place? Like, why don't they go to different places?
Well, when they go to those parties, is it the same house every time?
Yeah, it's always like the same drinks.
Yeah, and like same decorations.
Yeah, and who's putting up those decorations if not like members
of the committee? Yeah, totally. Totally. The decor committee of the fraternity. The beautification committee.
Are you ready for our fifth and final story, which is a little Broadway news?
Broadway?
What's going on in the Great White Way, you ask?
I don't know. What is?
Dirty Dancing is set to become a Broadway musical in 2025.
Is the movie a musical? No, it's just like a movie where they dance.
With dancing.
And
so Lionsgate wants theater goers to have the time of their lives. So the studio is adapting Dirty Dancing as a Broadway musical. It will launch in late 2025 with aspirations for Broadway as well as a North American run.
Do you remember that reality show about
Tyler Cameron?
Yeah, about like reality stars like and dancing.
Dirty Dancing with the reality stars.
Yeah. Right.
Dirty Dancing with the stars.
I just feel like they really didn't need to do that. Like I almost wish that they didn't.
I wish you didn't remind me because I would have forgotten.
It was the first thing that came to mind. Like
That's
truly.
So crazy.
I know.
My first thing that came to mind is like, this is really exciting for someone who's going to get this role.
Yeah, Dirty Dancing for me is a little bit before my time. So I don't have like the respect and obsession that I know a lot of people like 3 years older than me do. I've seen it. Like I didn't love it. And I honestly don't think that guy's hot. Like, sorry, Patrick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like for me, this does nothing. But I think for people, like it does a lot. Like, do you care about Dirty Dancing? Like we also didn't grow up in a Dirty Dancing house. I feel like you either did or you didn't.
Yeah. And honestly, it is like a few years before our time.
Right. And like they were at a camp.
They were in the Catskills, which is just what we associate with camp. And it was summer. But I don't know that they were at
Were they
camp.
supposed to be Jewish?
The Catskills are very Jewish.
Like the only people who spend the summer in the Catskills like are Jews.
The 1987 film starred Jennifer Grey as Frances Baby Houseman. It's giving
And
Jewish.
Jennifer Grey is Jewish.
A young woman who falls in love with a dance instructor, Johnny Castle, at a resort.
Well, if he was just a dance instructor, like he doesn't necessarily need to be Jewish because he was like traveling there for the summer.
Right. It was at a resort in New York's Catskills during summer 1963.
I'm sorry. Like it's literally Maisel. If you guys ever watch like Maisel, the Catskills used to be like a Hamptons type of place for Jewish people. So maybe I'll give it another chance. Like, I don't know. It's so famous and it's so quotable. I mean, you are going to catch me saying nobody puts baby in a corner, even though I have like literally no idea what they're talking about.
Right. But she is Baby.
Right. Which is also weird.
I agree.
Like, that's your name? Question mark.
But her name is Frances.
And Jennifer. Like, I don't get it.
And Baby.
Yeah.
So.
Who's doing the music?
I don't know.
For this musical?
I don't know. But the woman who wrote the screenplay will direct the re-envisioned production.
Is it Broadway or off Broadway?
It's meant to be on Broadway.
All right. I mean, I feel like these days Broadway, it's like really only revivals and redos and Mean Girls, like School of Rock, Matilda. Like it's just like shit that already exists being made into musical form. And I'm not upset because they're doing that with The Greatest Showman. But like, what happened to original musicals? I think that's why Nicole Scherzinger's is getting so much.
I do think when there is a really good original musical, it like is
takes off.
Massive, like Book of Mormon,
Hamilton,
and Wicked.
Mm-hmm.
So they come around once in a while because before that it was like Lion King on Broadway. Like
it's Cinderella,
The Usual Suspects.
Yeah,
Dear Evan Hansen, Cultural Shift.
Yeah. Cultural Shift.
So that's
what was the
why
last
they're
Broadway
not
show you saw?
a dime a dozen. Oh, I feel like I should be able to answer this. I know I saw Dear Evan Hansen in like 2018. Did I see anything after that?
Probably not.
Maybe not.
I actually recently saw *And Juliet*, where Charlie D'Amelio was starring in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm kind of a patron of the arts.
You are.
Yeah.
Are you ready for Queenie and Weenie?
Well, for the first time maybe ever in my life, now I'm having deja vu. Maybe I did say this last week. I have a Queenie and I don't have a Weenie.
No, you didn't say that last week, I don't think.
So
maybe you did.
Maybe I did. Okay, my Queenie. Well, I wanted to make my Queenie like Tell Me Lies in general because like it was such a fun, like I feel like we haven't all watched the season finale of something since like Game of Thrones. Like it was really fun to watch something that everyone was talking about, a scripted show nonetheless, but it was a little general. So I went a little bit more specific and I went with Diana.
I love the fictional Diana.
Fictional Diana, like from the show. It was nice to see like one person making good decisions and like caring about their fucking future in the show. Like respect, queen. And she just cruised out of there in the Bentley, like obsessed.
She is the Queenie of the Week. My Queenie of the Week were the Tell Me Lies showrunners because the way that they have translated this book to show is actually harder than anything than just like writing a separate show. It's so amazing. It's not only like fun to watch something that everyone's watching, but like that it's so quality. I feel like for so long we're like, maybe it's just not possible to make good. Maybe we've seen it all and you can't pull one over on us and we're sick of everything. But this is so quality. It's so good. And they've just done an amazing job with it. And for that, they are my Queenies.
Yeah, I am in agreement. Like it's really just been so fun. And like I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss it.
Yeah.
Now your Weenie of the Week?
I was between two, a rock and a hard place.
That's so me. Like you have two Weenies.
But my Weenie of the Week, and it's crazy because it in another universe could have been Queenie, but it just didn't achieve that. And because it wasn't Queenie-like,
Victoria's Secret.
Because it wasn't Queenie-like, it was Weenie-like, and that was the Victoria's Secret fashion show. And I will say, like, to the marketers and the ideators, the girls are beautiful and you know, they are who and what they are. But the fact that the show stood for absolutely nothing and it was kind of a hot mess, Weenie.
When I was ideating for Weenie and Queenie, Victoria's Secret did cross my desk as Weenie. I don't know, I feel this odd attachment to it, like from my childhood. Like I couldn't make it Weenie.
You can't turn on it.
No, I mean, I have. Like, when I gave people were like, I'm so confused. Did Claudia and Jackie like Victoria's Secret fashion show? Like, I don't know.
I don't know either. I can't say that I liked it. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. And that's the problem. Yeah. That's wherein lies the weenie-dom.
Therein lies the issue. Friends don't try to trick you. Jax, describe in 3 words how you're feeling for Taylor Swift tonight.
Who's your weenie?
I told you I didn't have one.
Oh, and you sat with that.
Yeah, and I said, like, you had 2 and I had none. Is it opposite day?
Well, you know who I always want to make my weenie, and I feel like this week I really can.
Who?
Sinwar.
Yeah, but again, I am against it because
then it just like makes Queenie and Weenie. Then every week,
like, Katy Perry is not the same as Yaya Sinwar. Like, it's not right.
Of course, but like him throwing that stick at the end,
obsessed.
Absolute weenie.
That actually is a definition of weenie behavior. Like, you're literally like, you don't even have a hand. Like, stop.
He can't give it up.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe my weenie is the stick. I like that.
How am I feeling for Taylor?
Yeah.
Honestly, overwhelmed.
It's a lot, by the way. Like,
anxious.
Yeah, that's so fair.
Nervous.
Yeah, no, these are all fair feelings.
We are going on like a quest this evening. Like,
a road trip.
We have a big night ahead of us. I know that I'm going to have fun, but until I'm in the seats and like it's all happening around me, like, it's just a lot.
No, and I want to tell you, because Brian had said this to me, and when he first started going to Aerosource, he was very much like familiar, but a little bit of an outsider. And he said the first thing he thought, and I think you're going to have this experience too, was like, he was actually in pain, like his ears, like the screaming. I actually think we should pick up some earplugs.
Oh, damn. When I picked you up at the airport yesterday, there was a jar of earplugs.
Oh, you should have picked them up.
I didn't even think about it.
Like, from CVS. Like, I don't think it would hurt for you to have, honestly. Like, it is jarring, like the screams. And this is the first one back in a while. Like,
and how are our seats? Like, they're good. Are they great?
We bought them so long ago.
I don't even know where we are.
Actually, I'm not in possession of the seats. Our third, Margot is. I know that they're good, but I remember
really good. But are they great? I don't know.
I remember when we were buying, we were like, oh my God, they kept disappearing. Like, we couldn't. Like, so I think they're good. Like, I think they're good objectively. But, like, you know, are you going to see the sweat on her forehead? No.
Forehead. I don't need to see the sweat, but I want to see it.
Yeah. And you're going with 2 people who have been many times. And we took our expertise, like, and we applied that knowledge while we were buying the tickets.
It was practical application of policy?
It was a practical application of policy. Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm excited to give you guys my review on Monday.
Oh, yeah, we will have much to discuss on Monday.
And Turdy will still be here on Monday.
Probably.
So we'll be together in studio, video 2, YouTube.
Yeah, apologies for the audio extravaganza. Just like
it just needed to happen.
We're in conservation mode.
We are in conservation mode.
Thank you guys so much for listening to the Toast and Monday Morning Show, where we deliver the fast 5 stories you need to know every Monday through Friday on YouTube. So you're watching us on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe, please video, thumbs up, also available podcast and podcast, we found Spotify, iTunes, Republic, Radio, guest box, all places, visit podcast, podcast, sorry, we beautiful, stunning and wickedly talented we are.
Love ya. Bye.